Now, the reason why The Hobbit isn't higher up on my list was because when I went to go see it, I wasn't feeling the mode, as it were. And The Hobbit should be higher up on my list. I admit that. It's just in terms of the enjoyment factor, I just enjoyed the next 4 films more. Amazing visuals and a good continuation from the first movie. As I said in my review, the only downside to this film is that it was long. And I had forgotten quite a lot of what happened in the first film. Which is my own fault. I should have caught up on the first movie before I watched it. Because I'd watched the first movie in the cinema and hadn't got the DVD or hadn't watched it online. The Lord of the Rings franchise and the Hobbit franchise never fails to make you feel good. This franchise has a way of making you feel happy. And it makes you care about these characters in such a different and unique way. And I love the introduction to the red-haired elf. I love the introduction of Legolas and his story. It didn't feel like a gimmick and actually felt like it had always been in the story. And I really, really did enjoy seeing Smaug on screen. And I also liked the parallels between Bilbo, and Thorin. And how their paths were going down into a darker path that they wanted. And I really, really did like that. Brilliant sequel with continuing themes from the first film. And that is so true. I have actually been looking into a lot of films based on this Marxist view of government and how this is, and how a lot of movies nowadays are actually portraying these governments who are controlling people and bringing that to the forefront in cinema. You have got that from V for Vendetta, Children of Men, Hunger Games. You get it in something else as well, but I can't remember what it is. But you are seeing a lot of these types of dystopian government controlling people quite a lot in cinema. The Hunger Games built on that foundation, and its sequel continued its fashion. And Jennifer Lawrence plays such a good Katniss. I've never seen an actress be that passionate about a character. This actress, Jennifer Lawrence, is fast becoming such a unique actress. And at such a young age as well. like, she is winning awards in the Global Awards. And that is such an amazing feat for someone so young. Like, I think she's about my age, and that's quite impressive. And Katniss as a character is the reluctant symbol of a rebellion and hope for the people in this universe. And I really, really liked that. I really, really liked the fact that, you know, she's accidentally causing a rebellion without really knowing that she's doing it. Because all she's trying to do is survive. And yet, as a result, she's creating this uprising and actually saying no. In terms of what V for Vendetta in the V for Vendetta movie says, governments should be afraid of their people, and that is exactly what Katniss is creating. She is creating a character who is uprising against other people. And it's brilliant. This movie is great. I love this film. It's such a fresh, compelling story that I've never seen in cinema before. And it's so different to anything I've ever seen. Like, the most powerful country on Earth is completely destroyed. Like, the most powerful building in the world, like White House physically, like, having fire, was just an amazing visual to see. Not that I would ever want it to happen, by any means. It was just such an amazing thing to see on screen. And it was just such an enjoyable ride. I don't have any more to say about it. I just really liked seeing this film. Man of Steel probably has to be the most controversial film that came out this year, particularly among fans of Superman. And it's number 2 on my list because this is actually the only film I saw this year twice. And to tell you the truth, I probably would have gone to see it 3 times. This is a brilliant take on Superman. Now, I know it's not everyone's take on Superman, but this is so different to anything that I think we're ever going to see, and probably that fans will ever allow. I love the visuals. I loved how Zack Snyder tried to portray Superman as a god. And it had this real God Among Us vibe throughout the entire movie. And I actually bought that this is how Superman would be in real life. The way he moves, the way he talks, and the way Superman would be in our society today. And I love the themes of the story. And I know that fans do not agree with the ending. I argue that actually the ending is one part to a growing story. And I do think we will have Superman back to his roots. Where I think they're going with the story is they're creating a universe, a cinematic universe, where these heroes possibly are going to have this, like, Civil War vibe. And Man of Steel has started the ball rolling for this cinematic universe. The Great and Powerful Oz is probably perhaps my most favourite film of 2013. For those of you who don't know me, I love fairy tales. I love Once Upon a Time, and I love fairy tales. And this was my fairy tale come to life. It's not Alice in Wonderland by any stretch of the imagination, but this was my fairy tale. Great visuals and interesting story about how Oz came to this land of Oz, and how he became leader of these people, and it's sort of like the prequel to Wizard of Oz. And I really liked that. It was just something so different. And the fact that this character isn't entirely good, and isn't as pure as you would expect him to be, but he is a character who, yes, is flawed, but grows to deeply care for the people in this land and in this world. And I really, really liked it. The movie was perhaps my most favourite film. And when I was in the cinema, I remember distinctly, because it's the first time I've ever felt this way since going to cinemas. Physically, I was like this. Like, physically on the edge of my seat the entire, throughout the entire thing. And just really, really engrossed in this universe. And it has to be one of my most top 10 favourite films ever. Because I love this film. And particularly with the Wicked Witch of the West, I believe. The Green Witch. I loved her origin. I loved how this poor woman, who had fallen in love with this flawed man, and betrayed by him, this villain, and, and completely hardened her heart towards love. And I really liked that. I really enjoyed this film. So, props to you, man. Props to you. You deserve this plastic thing. So yeah, that's my top 10 best films of 2013. So, thank you for listening to me, and I'll see you in February for my reboot channel, and hopefully more great content for you to come.